All right, folks, welcome back to the show. It is The Cut. You're still watching The Cut. It's still Craig Shelton. Richard Big Walker is here also right now, but he's taking care of business. We had to get out to Reliance Stadium, folks, for the Texas kickoff. Avocare, that's Avocare Texas kickoff right here in Reliance Stadium, and the matchup was between Oklahoma State. It was a Big 12 SEC matchup with Oklahoma State and Mississippi State. Oklahoma State gets that victory over an SEC team by the score of 21-3. Very, very good ball game out there, and we will cover some of the particulars with that for you. We got player interviews for you in this segment, as well as some great footage from the game. But also, right during the game, the Texans did release to the media all of the cuts for the Texans cut down that had to be by 3 o'clock on Saturday, which is the day that we actually taped this presentation of the cut. I'll share with you by now. Most of you already know, but I will highlight some of the players that were cut by the Texans and players of note to a lot of you folks. I think Rock Carmichael is someone that will be of interest to folks. Rock has had a couple of years to get it together in the defensive backfield as one of the backups at cornerback for this roster, and just wasn't able to put things together this season with the Texans, his third season with the team. And he was a part of the cuts on today. Tyler Klutz, who was acquired from the Chicago Bears in the 2012, early in the 2012 season. He was acquired from the Chicago Bears for a former Texans player, another cornerback who had been with the team a couple years. The kid's name eludes me right now, but definitely Tyler Klutz at the fullback, a natural fullback, a kid that many folks thought probably would fit well here in Houston, let go by the Texans. Cameron Collins, a guy, inside linebacker. I mentioned inside linebacker because that's been a position of concern for the Texans depth-wise. And here's a kid that, you hate to see things like this. Kid Andy Cruz. It doesn't mean a lot to many of you folks, but as a person that had an opportunity to be out at training camps and practices, this was a kid that really played pretty good when he got his opportunities. One of those kids that catch everything that's thrown to him, and you hate to see a kid like that miss an opportunity to be on this roster, but I'm sure he may get some opportunities moving forward. Dennis Johnson, the running back, number 28, played some special teams. If you remember in the Dallas game, he did some good things running the football out the backfield, but he did some good things in the kick return game, punt return game. But he also put the ball on the turf, and that's just something the NFL coaches don't like, especially old school guys like a Gary Kubiak. You got to hold on to the football. Here's a kid that many of you didn't see a lot of. His name is Orrin Johnson. Orrin is 6'3". When you go out to Texan practices, he stands out when you watch him and you see him over there with defensive backs, but didn't get a lot of opportunities. I did see him mix it up a little bit early in the Texans' final preseason matchup with the Cowboys. He got in on a real nice tackle. He's a nice-sized kid, pretty physical, but just didn't make the cut with the Texans. But maybe by the time you guys see this, many of these guys will be back on the roster. He's a guy that may be back on this roster. Dennis Johnson is a guy that may be back on this roster. The Texans cut Chris Jones, just as they cut another draft pick last year, Nick Mundek, who they later signed back to the practice squad. I would expect to see that Chris Jones will be back on the practice squad. Now, this one is one that will stick because he's not practice squad eligible. He's got several years in the league. Is Deji Kareem, running back, spent last year with the Colts. Many folks thought Deji Kareem was a shoe-in because of the trust issue. Gary Kubiak trust veterans more so, but Sierra Wood, the kid out of Notre Dame, just flat out outplayed Deji Kareem and Chris Johnson. Just seemed to be more of a dynamic threat from the backfield. Also, they cut center Alex Cupper. That is not a cut that I didn't expect to see coming, and won't be seeing him around the Texans camp. When I look at the rest of the guys, inside linebacker Mike Muhammad, a lot of folks thought that they liked Mike Muhammad. Nah, I wasn't as impressed by him. I didn't think he played with a high motor, and I didn't think that he was very good laterally, and I didn't think he had any type of relevant top end speed to be able to play at a high pace, a high speed form of defense, and aggressive form of defense the way Gary Kubiak likes to see him play. Maybe my scouting of him is wrong, but clearly the coaches didn't see something they like. Easy Nwachuku also cut, and Joanna Starling also cut. So that final preseason game is always a tough time of the season for coaches and veteran players, because you're going to see somebody lose a job, and nobody likes to see folks lose a job that they've played with. So as we told you earlier, obviously we were out here today to cover the Texas kickoff, the Advocare Texas kickoff right out here in Reliance Stadium, with a great SEC and Big 12 matchup. Oklahoma State getting it done over Mississippi State by the score of 21-3. It was a real exciting game. A quarterback who got some time on the playing field last year with Oklahoma State, and J.W. Walsh, got time again today. He was splitting duties earlier in the first quarter of this game, and this was a very lethargic game in the first half. Not a lot going on offensively, not a lot going on in the trenches from either team's offensive line, but at some point that Oklahoma State coaching staff led by Mike Gundy decided to go with J.W. Walsh for the remainder of the game, pretty much exclusively, and that's when things started to turn around late toward the end of the second quarter. May have worried that they may have lost some momentum going into the halftime, but they come out of halftime. Walsh is leading his team with a different confidence level. They were able to put together some good, decent offensive rushing yards in the first half, but in the second half, Oklahoma State was able to get it going offensively in regard to the passing game. J.W. Walsh was able to get outside of the pocket to make some throws. Clearly, he was feeling a lot more comfortable. I don't know if he heard it officially at halftime that it was his team to lead, but whatever happened, he got a lot more comfortable. The offensive line started to play much better, and as Richard Walker and I sat together in the press box, we kept looking at each other when the offensive line wasn't playing well, saying almost in unison, you don't win football games without good offensive line play. Well, everything started to come together in the third quarter. J.W. Walsh, at the end of the third quarter, had 10 carries and 100 yards rushing. The passing yards was picking up. So they ended up just taking care of business in the second half, basically, keeping the foot on the throat of the Mississippi State offense. Just never got any flow, no tempo, and I know that those coaches are expecting a lot more out of that offense than that, and they just didn't get it today. So we got some great interviews for you folks, and we've got some good footage for you folks to enjoy of the game, shot by Richard Walker down on the sideline. So folks, why don't you enjoy these interviews and then enjoy the video right here on The Cut. I now got unofficial numbers on you tonight. 10 carries for 46 yards. You guys kind of got off to a slow start early in the game, not a lot of balance on the offensive side in the passing game, but coming out of the third quarter, you guys were able to get it going on both sides of the offense, running and passing. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, we knew coming in it wasn't going to be perfect. We've been going against our defense for 4 weeks now, so we had to make the right reads. We didn't know what to expect from them, fully. But we knew our run game was going to help us out to get into our passing game and our offense. Then once we got that rolling, we was good. It was all downhill.
Talk a little bit about how you feel coming down into Houston and getting the season started off in an atmosphere away from home, but at the same time, not on the opponent's home turf.
It's a big confidence boost for our team. It's good motivation. We beat the SEC team. Our defense played real well, and we wasn't surprised about that. They've been playing well all 2 days. And it's good for our offense to have a good, tough pound and ground game against their defense. They brung it, but at the end of the day, we got the dub, and that's all we care about.
Appreciate you. How you doing, Sean?
I'm pretty good. About yourself?
Doing good. Appreciate you talking to us a little bit. Just talk about the overall experience of the game tonight, coming down to Houston, playing on a neutral field.
It was fun. The atmosphere was exactly what we wanted, and you couldn't ask for a better situation. Mississippi State was a great opponent, and we came out with some enthusiasm, and we played today and got the win.
I noticed early on, particularly in the first half of the ball game, obviously a defensive struggle there. I didn't see Mississippi State be able to get a lot of push against you guys' defensive front. How did that play for the linebacker crew, keeping those big guys off of you guys?
Our guys up front did a terrific job. A good job up front. Just holding point and allowing us to run free and make tackles. So kudos to them. I mean, they really won this game for us.
Did you feel like you guys matched the SEC team's type of physical play that they're known for?
Yeah, we play physical in the Big 12 too. It's just we run so many plays, people overlook it, but we play physical in the Big 12 as well.
Looking forward to the rest of the season. Looking down the road a little bit. What's in the back of your head about that one opponent you can't wait to knock heads with?
Which opponent I'm looking forward to the most?
Yeah.
The next one, whoever we play next, I think is UTSA. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that one.
That's the safe answer.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Good luck. We appreciate you talking to us. I got unofficial numbers on you tonight, 102 yards rushing, and look pretty physical out there running the ball. How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. All the credit to the O-line. J-Dub did a great job out there. Defense played impressive. I really just want to get this game to the defense, man. Those guys really went out there against the SEC team, and did their thing. So, the game goes to them.
Yeah, the defense did play very, very well in the first half of the football game. Obviously, it was a back-and-forth defensive struggle there. A little bit in regard to the offensive line, people always talk about the physical play of SEC football teams, and to talk about how this Oklahoma State offensive line went out and matched those guys in the trenches and was able to get things flowing more evenly in the second half of the offense.
Yeah. Again, our up-tempo offense, it kills people. Not taking anything from Mississippi State. They're a great team. I know they're going to, do pretty good in the SEC. But, as long as we can keep playing fast, that's going to hurt a lot of people.
You guys, I noticed early in the first half of the game, they dominated you guys in time of possession. I guess from a psychological standpoint and the way you guys like to do things on the field, is it better? Are you guys playing better when you guys are dominating the time of possession?
Yeah, as long as we can do that, and just keep scoring, we'll be good. But, they did their thing in the first half, and we came out the second half and really put it on them. So.
Talk about how your quarterback settled in and led you guys in Walsh, particularly getting it going in the third quarter.
J-Dub did a great job. The line did a really good job blocking for him. He went out there and ran well, passed well. So I'm really impressed with his play today.
Do you feel like overall you perform better the more carries you get going forward? I know you split time tonight, and both you guys played very well. But most running backs I've known over the years, they like to hold on to that hog and get stronger as they go.
Yeah, I'm just playing just for the wins, man. Especially just to go out here and play an SEC team and get the win. That's really all that matters.
I can tell that it was really important for you guys to get this type of signature win over SEC team. Is that something that you guys talked a lot about leading into the game?
A lot of people talked about it, and to get this win is great, but, not taking, anything from them, but it really is just all about us. As long as we go out there and play hard and execute, all the plays that we need to, we'll come out on top every single time, and tonight we did.
And before I let you go, comment a little bit about coming down to Houston and playing on a neutral field to get the season started.
It was great. To play in the NFL stadium, thank the Houston Texans for allowing us to do this. And it's a great experience.
Have you tried the barbecue and the boudin and all the good things about Houston?
My dad stays in Houston, so I've been here a few times, so I love it.
All right, we appreciate you and good luck on the season.
Thank you.
J-Dub, I have you unofficially today accounting for 260 yards of offense, 13 carries, 125 yards, 18 for 29, for 35 yards in passing, and a lot of that coming out of a pistol set. You obviously have to feel comfortable to be able to put up those type of numbers the first game of the season when there's a lot of continuity with your offense. Talk a little bit about that.
It was just fun to get back out there and run our offense and be able to see how successful, with the new coordinator, with Coach Yursich, and how successful we're going to be, and to be able to come out and have that much success on offense, even though it started out slow, to be able to turn it around and be successful was it was nice to see and be able to we're going to build on that and keep going.
You have to be feeling some level of personal gratification. I mean, you guys come out sharing the quarterback duties today. Clearly, a decision was made to go with you for the rest of the ball game, and you're on the road, on a neutral ground against a tough SEC football team. Talk a little bit about that personal gratification that you did your job and led your team.
It's always a good feeling to be able to know that you just did your job and you executed the plays that were out there, and to out there and to come away with the victory, no matter where you are. If your team gets a win and you were any kind of part of that, and it's always a good feeling in it. So.
Have you had any opportunity to just breathe a little and say, "Wow, I made it through this first one"?
The best person that he always gets that to me is Josh. He always comes up to me and he just at random moments will just come up to me and he'll just say, you know where we're at, you know what you're doing, and because times you kind of take it for granted, and you kind of with all the workouts we do and how hard we're working, and sometimes you don't get to sit back and just realize how blessed we've been and to be able to play with the guys that we have on the team and have such a special bond, and when every time he comes up to me, it almost gives me chills just because we do have such a special bond, and we're so close as a team, and to be able to be here, it is a special feeling.
JW, the first half of this football game was not a thing of beauty unless you are just football purists and you love defensive football, so it was okay with me. But obviously, coming out in the third quarter, you guys started to get some balance out there on the field. The passing game wasn't doing much early. The offensive line wasn't getting a lot of punch in the run game, but you were having some level of success. You guys were putting up some decent numbers in the first half rushing. But then all of a sudden, third quarter, when you come back, I don't know if you found out maybe at halftime that you were going to be the guy the rest of the way. It was just a clear difference in the level of confidence that you played with, and I think that was evident with how the rest of the team played.
I think when we came back in for halftime, I think we had just found our stride, and I think everybody was just ready to get back out there and get rolling again, because we had just found our stride and we were ready to keep playing and ready to keep it going. So when halftime came, we were a little disappointed because we had so we were ready to go and we had just started clicking. So I think that's that's what kind of jump started us in the third quarter. Is we were ready to play. We were we were ready to go, and we had just started clicking and hit our stride. We were ready to roll.
Have you had a chance to enjoy any of the fine Houston cuisine since you've been in town?
We have not, but I hear it's good. I hear it's real good. So.
Yeah, man, you got to try all of the Creole stuff, Tex-Mex,
I love it. I love that stuff. Our best friend's Josh, and that's all. He's from New Orleans, so that's all him. And every time he has a meal at home or meal he cooks or something, it's always. I'm always having some of it.
Try to talk to coaches and taking you guys right across the freeway from here at the stadium to Papacitos, and tell coach to hook you up with the grilled quail with the Jack Daniel glaze, man.
Grilled quail with the Jack Daniel glaze. That sounds good.
Trust me, it's good. Hey, man, we appreciate you and best of luck. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks a bunch. Appreciate it.